Hi, I'm Rebecca Hansen. Welcome to Maker Studio. Today we're going to be making this paper citrus wreath. A few weeks ago, I was browsing through Pinterest and came across a fresh orange wreath that I thought was so beautiful, and I wanted to make a paper version so that it would last year after year. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there's a few steps to this wreath, but they're pretty simple and it's just repeating itself over and over again. So to get started, we are going to take a 12-inch wire wreath form, and you can buy these at your local craft store. And then we're gonna take some tissue paper. And what we're doing is creating a base that we can nestle all of our oranges and leaves into without them falling apart. So I'm just gonna take one piece of orange tissue paper just so that it matches the rest of our components, and fold it lengthwise 4 times so that it just makes a long strip. So we're going to take our wreath frame, and you can see that it has a slight divot, and that's going to be right side up. So we're gonna take our tissue paper and just kind of weave it in and out of this wreath frame. And like spread it out again to make like a little nest. And you'll need 2 sheets. So this let us go halfway around, so we'll use 1 more sheet and do the same thing to do the rest. Okay, so now we've got the base done, and we'll set that aside and come back to it. So the first leaf that we're gonna work on is this 3-leafed bunch. And you can just cut these out with your Silhouette cutting machine. I got all of these design files from the Silhouette store, the Silhouette design store. So cut a bunch of those out, and I used like a teal, blue-green cardstock. And then to give them some dimension, I just scored the inside of each leaf. And you can use scissors or a craft knife. So just score a straight line right in the middle of each leaf, and this will allow you to fold each leaf to give it some shape. So I did that with about 10 to 15 bunches of leaves. So once you score all those, you can set those aside. And then the next leaf type we're gonna work on is this bundle of leaves using double-sided adhesive and wire. So to do that, first I cut out all of these individual leaves using my Silhouette cutting machine and another design file. And then to do the other half of the leaves, I took some double-sided adhesive and peeled off the liner, the white liner, and stuck on a piece of the same color cardstock, and then cut them out using my Silhouette cutting machine again. So this will give you, once you peel off the leaf, it allows you to have a sticky side on one of the leaves. So then you can sandwich a piece of wire in between the leaf with the sticky side and then just your regular leaves out of cardstock. So we'll take the leaf with the adhesive side, thanks to our double-sided adhesive, which you can just find on silhouetteamerica.com. And I've cut pieces of wire that are about 4 to 5 inches long. And I'll just put that right in the middle of my leaf. It doesn't need to go all the way up. and just stick it down, and then take my plain cardstock leaf and place it, make sure the sides match up, place it right over the wire, lining up the edges of your leaf. So you've sandwiched the wire within the two sides of the leaf. And then I like to use my scraper tool to just smooth out the paper over the wire. So then it looks like you have a vein running through the leaf from the wire. So I've done that with a few already, and if you want, you can add some texture like I've done here with these leaves by using a white marker and just drawing veins on your leaf. So just draw a straight line going all the way through, and then some lines off to the side to resemble a leaf. And then the next step will be to make the little orange blossoms. These are a small white paper flower design file. And to give these some shapes, I'm gonna curl the petals with my scissors so that it has some dimension. And it's kind of like curling ribbon. You just take each petal and glide your scissors along them with a little bit of pressure. Not too much or you'll rip off your petal. But just gently curl each of the leaves, or not leaves, petals. And then we'll take the other part of the flower design file, which is the center. It's like this little star shape. And we're gonna use two of those for the center, and we're gonna just curl them up with your fingers, and then using your hot glue gun, glue one right on top of the other. I like to keep the bottom one flat, and then I'll glue the center one right in the middle, and then curl up the rest of it so it all stands straight up. And then we'll glue that right into the center of the flower, like so. So it's so cute. I love this flower shape. So then we're gonna glue on a wire stem to the flower so that we can cluster it with the leaves and make little bunches of flowers that you can see here. So to do that, again, you'll just cut 4 to 5 inch long pieces of wire, and I like to take my pliers and just make a tiny little loop at the top of the wire and kind of bend it over so you've made like a little flat surface. And this will make it easier to hot glue your flower onto the tip of it. So I'll just add a drop of glue to the bottom of the flower, and then take your wire and push it right in the middle. And just let that firm up. And I just repeat that process for all of the little flowers. So once you have your flowers and your leaves all finished, you can cluster them together like I showed you earlier. So we'll take, most of them I use 5 leaves and 3 flowers for each little cluster. So just grab a few leaves and kind of stagger them in height, and then a flower, leaf, flower, one more, and then take your floral tape and just wrap the bases of the stems together. And as you wrap your stems, kind of stretch the floral tape. That will activate the adhesive in the tape so that it stays nice and tight. And just spin down. And then once you reach the bottom, you can just rip it off. And then you can kind of arrange your leaves and flowers like so. Okay, so we've got our flower and leaf bundles. I also made a few just with leaves instead of adding some flowers, just for some options when I assemble the wreath. So the last step is making your oranges or peaches or whatever fruit you want to use. You could use yellow cardstock and make these lemons too. That would be super cute. So to make these, I've used 3 different sizes of circles, and each circle has a scored line down the middle, a dashed line, which you can easily fold on. So each circle or each orange or fruit requires 6 circles. So just cut out all of those. I used a few different shades of peach and orange cardstock just to add some color dimension. So we'll just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll show you how to make one, and it's the same process for all the different sizes. So you just take each of your circles and fold them down the middle. And then you'll just glue halves of the circle together. So just using a glue stick, apply glue to 1/2 of your circle, and then attach it to another circle. And then just repeat the process. Apply glue to the next half, add another circle. So this will create that sphere shape that we're going for, but it's just using paper. And sandwich your last circle piece inside. So then you can see we've got this 3-dimensional circle shape. So that's what you'll do for all of your orange pieces. I made 7 large ones, 5 medium-sized, and 3 small. But you can use whatever works for your arrangement. It's not precise. So now we've got our orange pieces, we've got our leaf and flower clusters, and we've got our scored leaves. So we're gonna take all of those and add them to a wreath frame. And to start, I'm just going to glue down all of the oranges first. And to glue them down, I'm just gonna open up our little sphere circles so I have a flatter surface and apply the hot glue there, and then glue it down to our tissue paper. So just kind of be generous with the hot glue and start gluing your oranges all around the frame. You could even lay them all out and kind of decide how you want them laid out. Oh, and if you want, before you've glued them down, you can stick some of these leaves into the center of the orange. So then the leaf looks like it's like the stem of the orange, which is kind of nice. Otherwise, you can add those at the end as well. So just kind of grab these and play around with the layout before I glue them all down and I can't move them anymore. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna just glue all these down. Now all of our little orange pieces are glued to the base. So now we can just take our leaves and flower clusters and kind of position them all the way around the wreath. So again, this is not precise. You just kind of fill in the gaps and cover up where you can see the tissue paper, and just make it nice and full and lush. So I'll just start positioning. And the wire ones you can kind of wrap around the frame to secure them if you need. And you can also use your glue gun to position the other leaves as well. So as you get towards the end, I just try to look for little gaps and places that need more flowers or more foliage, and just try to fill those in. So over here I feel like I need a little bit more white or the flowers. So I'm going to try and stick this guy over here. Okay, I think we're just about there. I have this one last little flower. Okay, think we made it. And there's always a difference between doing it on the table and then once you hold it up, sometimes you'll find that things have like slipped or come loose or anything like that. So it's always a good test to kind of hold it up and then see if you want to make any final adjustments. So there you have it. I think this is perfect for summertime. If you change the palette a little bit, it would be great for Christmas even, since oranges are kind of a traditional Christmas motif. But if you'd like to make this project, we have all of the design files and step-by-step instructions on silhouette101.com. So check out that post and give this project a try. We'd love to see what you've come up with, and remember to share and tag your photos, and we'll see you next time.